just in the shadow of the ocean, and this the run, and they're back at it again. And here come our elite women. Gerda Steyn in her debut here. Gerda Steyn back here. Gerda Steyn, of course, is the talk of the nation, as she always is when she lines up. But Dominika Stelmach, Alexander Morozova, there is a phalanx of the finest athletes to line up for the Comrades Marathon. And we're in for an absolute thriller in terms of the race. And of course, those thousands and thousands, some 22,000, the biggest down run field in the history. There we are. Well, the darling of South African running. How relaxed does she look, Kieran Walker?
Yeah, looking very, very good is Gerda Steyn. And as you mentioned there, course record holder in both the up and down runs. A lot of the elite men and women now lining up in the start. And they had the privilege of being able to warm up inside the City Hall next to that start line. Seeing some of the former winners there as well. But the ladies are lining up on the right-hand side of the road and the elite men on the left. And I think, Gerald, it's one of the most competitive fields that we've seen in history so far.
Well, it just does speak to... And they're underway, courtesy of the Mzimbuzi Municipality Mayor Mzimkulu Tebola, and the runners are steaming away from outside Pietermaritzburg City Hall on the 98th edition of the Comrades Marathon. Some 22,000 split into two start groups. This is the first of those start groups heading off on the journey down to Durban.
Yeah, and Gerald, well, the first thing that struck me, it looks warm at the start. It looks very warm. Normally the runners are covered in warm clothing to try and keep themselves warm when it's a down run. I've run a down run when it's been -1. This looks like a warm start. Hardly anybody's wearing tops over their running vest. Yeah, they're setting off on a very nice morning, nice running conditions. No wind up there, unlike here where it's pumping, but hopefully the wind will die here. And here they go, they're starting the great adventure. The first thing you have to do is look down, make sure that you don't trip over any little traffic islands or any discarded tops. The second thing is to start to say, how do I feel? How do my legs feel already right from the beginning? It should feel so easy. It should be a wonderful pleasure to start running because you rested up for the last few days and you're ready now, and you're starting on a slight descent out of Pietermaritzburg away from the City Hall. But pretty soon we're going to be climbing.
Well, the emotions are just overwhelming for those runners out there, for those starting in the second batch.
But overall, the journey now is downhill, and it's steeply downhill. Gravity on your side. If your legs are feeling great, you can make up huge amounts of time. Or if you are Gerda, you can open up a gap, close the door behind you, and no one will be able to get back at you.
And as they charge downhill, now they start to drop some of the men. Gerda Steyn has put the sunglasses down, is down to work, and the men that were with her, who were running alongside her, 1 or 2 from Impala, now drifting behind her. As Gerda Steyn charges ever forward to another sub-6 hour clocking, looking to become the first woman to break 6 hours twice on the down run.
And those are not sunglasses. Those are female astronauts' re-entry glasses, because the speed she's going to go now, you know, she's going to be, re-entry through space. I mean, look at this, just plummeting down. And such a beautiful running style, relaxed. A good sign is always the arm carriage is low. When runners start to get tired, look at the runner next to her, their arms start to come up across the chest. Gerda's are still relatively low slung, even, smooth, breathing calmly, relaxed. And she knows what's ahead. She's run this down run, she's won it before, she's been second here before, she knows what's involved, and she knows still ahead of her is still an enormous distance, huge hills still waiting. It is not over, but she's getting into a position where she can make sure it is over.
Trying to secure a 3rd straight victory, a 4th win. Gerda Steyn once again delivering on the promise of victory. The promise that many, many, many will be hoping she fulfills.
A fabulous athlete, Morozova, who's won this race and been second in this race. Up front, you're watching elite athletes competing against it. These could become some of the famous Comrades rivalries. The rivalry between Wiersma and Tijani. You know, that's a great rivalry. We're going to talk about it 50 years from now. We're going to say what a great rivalry that was, how they traded wins. We're looking here at the greatest female runner in, you know, at the moment, I think, without any shadow of a doubt, but it isn't over. She's been caught by one of the great athletes, the Russian Morozova, or she's certainly being pushed, and so she can't relax.
They're getting the rose from Costa Semenya, Olympic champion over the 800 meters, and Gerald, here comes the smile.
Well, the rose did the trick, wasn't it? She was grimacing and she dug so deep and the rose was there, and that's confirmation. This is it. I am the first woman to receive the rose there. I'm going to win this race, and Gerda Steyn is on her way to writing her name into the history books here. 6-2 Oceans Marathon, there she goes, she counts 4 Comrades Marathon, a monumental achievement, but it's the manner in which she's done it that has drawn her into our hearts. She's been embraced, and she has embraced the road running fraternity. She throws the rose away in elation and excitement, and the sheer celebration as she takes the message from the mayor and heads towards the finish line. That deep connection with the runners, the smile, the acknowledgement, the thanks. She is the inspirational pathfinder for the next generation, but they can't catch her, defying belief. She is the champion. She is the queen. It is Gerda Steyn again at the Comrades Marathon in 2025. That's 4 for Gerda Steyn, the champion.
Wow! Very happy Gerda Steyn of 4 Comrades Marathon victories. You see the Minister of Sport there, Gaten McKenzie, shouting Gerda, Gerda, Gerda. And a very happy minister there. 5 hours, 51 minutes is what it took for Gerda Steyn to take victory in the 2025 Comrades Marathon. And not so long, we'll see the Russian athlete Alexandra Morozova coming through. 2 women under 6 hours.
Champion. What an amazing athlete. There was no question she was under real pressure, and she knew it and had to dig deep over these last 10-15 kilometers to see what was a coming threat from Alexandra Morozova, who has brought great form and great competition to the down run once again. A champion here in the Moses Mabhida Stadium a couple of years ago, but now finishing second to Gerda Steyn.
And after having many an issue just after the halfway mark with the cramping calves and hamstrings, Morozova has run a commendable 2025 Comrades Marathon. She's also going to finish under that average record pace of 5 hours and 55 minutes, and passing many of these top elite men. We saw the Nedbank athlete just behind Morozova. That was Johannes Machetla, also known as size 12. A very big feat on that gentleman, having 2 gold medals in the previous 2 Comrades down runs. And you can see a very painful Machetla, the cream all over his legs, indicating that he's had some cramps. Morozova now makes her way underneath that Argyle Road crossover bridge, and she's got around 400 meters to go. The Russian athlete going to break 6 hours, and hats off to Alexandra Morozova, her 7th Comrades and the 6th time that she finishes on the podium.
Yeah, an amazing run by Morozova. These two, well, they are both seasoned, experienced runners. We saw the novices going up early, pushing the pace, but it takes years of experience and know-how, nous and pain to come through at this level. Morozova, she knew what she was up against, Gerda Steyn. She knew that this was going to be a very, very tough race to win. But she's done the next best thing, and that is to come in second place. A glance at her watch will never mind the time, Alexander. It has been a phenomenal run here. Now she smiles into that last mile, the Gerda mile, and Gerda Steyn. Well, she can even jog just a little down to thank and acknowledge that crowd. Quite amazing.
Well, Gerda Steyn there, the queen of the Comrades Marathon. And there is Duncan, her husband, waiting for Gerda to come back across the line. And we saw him numerous times out on the route, seconding his wife. And that will be a very welcome embrace.
Big hug from her mother, and the Minister of Sport escorts her across the finish line. Congratulations from husband Duncan for Gerda Steyn. Alexandra Morozova closes in on that finish, and my word, it's a long run into the finish here. It's 89.98 kilometers from Pietermaritzburg, but it feels like about 98 kilometers from the left turn. And when you bring that big state in the Moses Mabhida into sight, but then the surge onto the artificial grass and under the arch to finish in second place for Alexandra Morozova. Second at Comrades in 2025. Just outside that 5:55 flat, but that won't bother her in the least. Second place is a wonderful performance.
Well, great performance there by Morozova. As we go back now to the third athlete, this is the Kenyan Shalmat Maruki in the colours of Nsika International, and she's running down Old Fort Road on her way to a podium finish. But the question is, can she hold off the women that are coming from behind? Dominika Stelmach, the netbank athlete from Poland, was just shy of 3 minutes down a kilometer or two ago, with South Africa's Yvette van Zyl just behind Stelmach in 5th, and Carla Molinaro coming through really strong in 6th. So Maruki mustn't relax too much, Mosibodi, because she's got the who's who of ultramarathon running in the women breathing down her neck.
Maruki looking to make history, and this is something that will make Kabazela Bamkize at the Nsika Athletics Club very happy, because she will become the first Kenyan woman on a podium at Comrades. She'll also become the first black woman on the podium at Comrades. But she has to hold on, and she looks over her shoulder. Maruki.
All beautiful scenes here out on the road. It's the final stretch down Masabalala Yengwe Avenue, and Yvette van Zyl, as we see there, Shalmat Maruki, the Kenyan athlete, rounding off the podium. Brilliant performance there by the Kenyan, who also takes the first